Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. I did a reaction to El Camino, Breaking Bad movie, and I thought, hey, let me talk about what Breaking Bad means to me, and the impact it's had, not on my life, but in just, media in general, because there's been a lot of shows to come out that have been trying to follow that formula. It wasn't the first to kind of have like this, breaking, like what they would call it, Breaking Bad, where you start as this good person, and suddenly a chain of events happens, and suddenly you're like this evil, not evil, because Walter wasn't evil. At the beginning, he had the best of intentions. He's like, "Hey, I'm about to die, and so let me provide financially for my family so that when I die, they don't have to worry about money." And then, he kind of went down the path, and he found out that he kind of liked it, the power, the fame, because after his name got around, everyone knew who Heisenberg was, and that's like I said. Actually, no, I did a reaction to the Say My Name scene, and I said he kind of relishes in the fact that people know who he is. In the scene, Declan and his henchmen, and Walter is with Jesse and Mike, and at the very end he says, "Say my name," knowing that even if they don't know who he is by physical appearance, once they know his name, they know this is not a guy you should be fucking around with. And of course he's like, "You're Heisenberg," and of course he says, "You're goddamn right," saying, "Yeah, don't forget my name, because if you do, if you forget who I am, you'll end up just like everyone else did who stood against me." Anyways, before we no, I'm not sponsored by Monster this episode, but I do have a very special guest. The cat. No, but so Breaking Bad is one of my favorite series of all time. Better Call Saul, it's amazing as well. There's so many good actors on Better Call Saul. That it's, I mean, when you first see Breaking Bad and you see Saul Goodman, you're like, "Oh my god, this guy is just so out of place," because there's this story being told about, drug lords and this and that, and then you enter Saul Goodman, and he's like that sleazy, fast-talking car salesman type lawyer who, does anything to, make a quick buck. The guy who would sell his own mother's soul if it could make him $50 or something. And people wanted something with him, and we got Better Call Saul, and it's been amazing so far. Is it better than Breaking Bad? Maybe. But so for people who haven't seen Breaking Bad and are basically all Patrick Stars, meaning you've been living under a rock, Breaking Bad follows Walter White, former chemistry teacher who finds out he has lung cancer, and essentially the entire series is him breaking bad. He starts out wanting to make money for his family so that when he dies, they'll be financially sound, that they don't have to worry about college or food or any kind of cost like that. I think he comes out with a total of like $700,000 or something like that he needs to make before he dies. And he first sees the idea when Hank, his brother-in-law, they're watching a bust that he did on TV, and they show all the money, and he asks Hank how much it is, and Hank gives the amount, and he's like, "Oh, that would be a lot." He's like, "No, that's nothing compared to what we've seen before. That's like chump change, really." And he sees during he gets offered to go to a bust, um, and while there, he sees one of his former students coming out of a window, and he looks at the car and says the captain, um, because he's heard that there is a guy called the captain who puts chili powder and everything in his meth. And obviously, Walt, being the smart guy he is, puts two and two together, figuring, oh, hey, this guy, Jesse Pinkman, my former student, is the captain. And he's the one making meth. So he kind of makes him a deal saying, basically, I won't rat you out if we can cook together. And so that's how things start. They get a, like an RV, Winnebago kind of thing. Something that they can use, so that way they can't, as Jesse would put it, I don't eat where, I don't shit where I eat. I mean, you don't want to cook meth where you live. That's just stupid. So a bunch of stuff goes down. They get mixed up with the wrong people. We get introduced to Crazy 8 and Tuco. And Tuco's really the one that kind of leads to things. Leads to the brothers going after everyone. Gus. Crazy 8 was more of a kind of a stepping stone. He was the person who, I think the only person that Walter killed that he didn't want to, because he's looking at him and he's like, he's still a kid. He's young enough to be my son. So yeah, he felt bad he had to kill him, but Crazy was trying to kill him anyway, so he kind of had to snap. But Tuco, he was one of those people that had to be taken out. He was too dangerous. He was just unstable, and luckily enough, Walter wasn't the one who took him out. It was actually pretty cool. Hank took him out, but yeah, and throughout the show, he takes on the personalities of people. He'll take on the personality of Gus. He'll be folding, just very meticulous and kind of detail oriented, especially when he's in his lab and he's got all the shiny laboratory equipment that he can work with. When he sees Hank get shot and killed, he's on the ground on the side of his face, kind of in the same kind of position and a facial expression that Gus was in with his partner after he saw him get killed. And at the end, the very end of the series, he's all gruff and everything, and he kind of has that Mike mentality, and he goes to see, oh my god, I always forget his name, but Gretchen and her husband, God, the rich people with gray matter. Oh my god, not Greg. Whatever, but he goes to them, and he kind of breaks into their house, and he's standing there while they're doing stuff, and he pulls out what was a knife, and he's just kind of like this, really kind of like, if you're gonna do this, you're gonna need a bigger knife, like this I don't care mentality like Mike has. And Mike was one of my favorite characters. He gets shot by Walt, and he's sitting there kind of bleeding, and Walter's like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I just realized I could have just asked for the names of the people, blah blah blah, and Mike's was just like, will you shut the fuck up and let me die in peace? And it's a nice scene because he's sitting by the river, but he's like, will you shut the fuck up and let me die in peace? No emotion about it. He knows he's gonna die. He's an old guy. He knows he's gonna die anyway. Let me, because I'm so tired of not remembering this guy's name. Um, Breaking Bad. Hopefully, just on IMDb. Yeah, there we go. 2008 to 2013. I thought it was 2014 that it ended, but nope. What do we got here? Hank, no. Let's see. Ted Todd. Ted Todd. Lydia, oh Lydia, have you seen Lydia? Lydia, my tattooed lady. Gretchen. Tuco. Nope. Why can I'm having... Well, there's Declan. Juan. Tortuga. Yeah, Danny fucking Trejo. There's a lot of fucking characters, man. Saul, Mike. Okay, well, Junior's there. Ted Bennick. Badger. Huel. Jane. Kristen Ritter. Good old, yeah. Gail, Brock, Victor. Let's see me just... What the hell? Oh. Let me just click on the character. Lydia, oh Lydia, have you seen Lydia? Right, that's it. And Adam Godley? Well, that's an unfortunate name. Adam Godley is... And he's also... Oh, yeah! Okay. Yeah, he was also in, Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. He played Mike's dad. Huh. Fancy that. Elliot. That's right, Elliot. God. I didn't realize that's who it was until I just looked it up. Yeah, he was in Charlie and the Chocolate Factory. But yeah, that's what he does. He kind of goes on with the, you know, if we're going to do this, you're going to need a bigger knife. What do you think, Sam? I don't care. I'm just trying to sleep. Now, what was I saying? Yeah, and, you know, a lot of people say my mom said the same thing. She's like, well, I just can't get into it. It's really boring. I'm like, yeah, the first 2 seasons or so are really boring because he's still going through the process of trying to break bad. But once you get up to the, past that, where he's now this hardened meth-making crime boss. No, not really crime boss, but, where he can shoot someone and feel no remorse of it at all. But there's really, like, a great scene where he's looking at his reflection. And I think it's one of the dispensers for paper towels, and he sees his reflection, and it's that moment where you look at yourself and you don't like what you see, and he just starts fucking just boom, 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 just punching at it, and the more he punches it, the more warped his reflection becomes, essentially reflecting inside, which I think is just really great. And then you have the same moment, because at this moment he doesn't want to accept what he is. He doesn't want to accept that he enjoys what he does. And at the very end, he's surrounded by the equipment that he loves the most. He's lost his family. His money is now safe with Elliot and Gretchen. Basically, he tells them, saying, hey, you're going to open up a trust fund for families affected by meth use, and you're going to give my son like 9 point something million dollars. Um, so he knows he's gonna die. So he's walking through Jack's lab. Jack being the neo-Nazi who kind of keeps Jesse hostage and forces him to cook. But he's walking through the little lab, and he looks and he sees his reflection, and it's not, distorted any kind of way. And instead of punching it, it's this moment where he just accepts it. That's who he is. And of course, he's got his hand on it, and it's slowly down, blood, and, it's on the ground, and we see him from above, presumably dead. But everyone's like, oh, well, we didn't actually see him die. And MatPat, with game theory, or film theory in this case, did a really good theory on how he may not have died, since the cancer he has would have stopped the bleeding real fast, which he really wasn't. He got hit by shrapnel or something, and he got hit by the side, which isn't, fatal in any kind of way. And we saw his blood. It was like pretty much just right here, and there was no blood anywhere else. So they said he pretty much said that the cops arriving on the scene would have had the skills and the tools necessary to take care of him, because they're not going to want him dead. They're going to want him to stand trial. And I mean, it would have been cool to see what happens, but I think Vince, Gilligan, the creator, pretty much said he wants it open-ended. But he did say, yeah, he's dead. But that's his interpretation. He said, yeah, you can have your interpretation. Maybe Walt gets away somehow. Maybe Walt gets tried and sentenced to a cage. And I think that would actually go pretty well, because earlier in the season, he tells Hank, he's like, well, we both know that even if there was enough evidence, that I would never see the inside of a jail cell because I'm a dying man. So to have that kind of reversed and have him not die just so he can just have it thrown back at him as kind of a revenge for Hank dying and everything he's done, I think that would be more poetic justice. But it's, yeah, when he looks at his reflection and he sees it, he doesn't feel disgusted over what he sees anymore. And we know more of this to be true after him and Skyler have their last chat. And he goes on, because throughout the series, it's, everything I do is for this family. When in actuality, in the end, he admits that he did it for him, that he liked it. He felt like it was something he was good at, and because he was dying, the thrill and everything, it made him feel alive. So Skyler kind of looks at him finally, and more with the way she used to look at him. She finally just sees that, he's telling the truth for once, rather than lying about everything. And she can tell that he's telling the truth about this. But it is a great series, and it's been 20 minutes, and I've been talking about certain moments, and I could just do this all day, because it's that great of a series. I would recommend watch it. Watch it. I would say, honestly, watch the final episode and all the crazy shit that happens, and then say, okay, I know not all of this is bad or boring. I can go back and watch it from the beginning, just so that I can get, the full context of how we got up to this point. Also, the names of the episodes. Like, the final episode is called Felina. The final episode is called Felina. Felina. What happens when you rearrange all those letters? You get final. Poof! No, but all the names are pretty clever. But I mean, it's a great cast, bitch. So I've still got it pulled up, and I'm looking down there at the cast, and I just see Aaron Paul, and I'm just like, bitch. RJ Mitty. It's Mitty. That's what we do with the cat. We have a cat named Mitty, and that's what we do. We say, it's Mitty. And he's like, oh, rub my butt. Oh, yeah. No, so, Breaking Bad. If you guys want to hear me talk about specific episodes, let me know. Because it's like one of those shows where it's like House or Psych or one of those. There's really no bad episode. There are some episodes that are not as good, but they're not bad. Like there's an entire episode of Walt trying to kill a fly in his lab because he's afraid it's going to, mess everything up and, infest and dirty things, and so he's spending this entire episode trying to kill a fly. That's what the episode is. It's him trying to kill a fly. And then Jesse comes, and I think Jesse's the one who finally kills it. And, yeah, but it's still a great episode. So, if you want to see that, let me know. Otherwise, this episode, this video will be like fucking 3 hours, 4 hours long. And I don't want to do that. But, yeah, let me know what you guys think about the show. Were you one of those people who said, oh, it's not good because I only watched like 2 episodes and nothing happened? Or are you one of those people who said that, gave it a chance, and you're like, oh my god, this is like the best series ever? Or you're like, oh yeah, the series sucks regardless. There's too much violence. It's too violent. The kids are going to see it, and they're going to think that's okay, and they're going to go out, they're going to start cooking meth with chili powder and dyeing it blue, and it's bad stuff. But yeah, let me know below. Comment, subscribe, all that great stuff. And, yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Bye, guys.